looking at the time and saying, what's the say?
Ô pessoal, já é 5 horas? 5 horas já, né? Ah, não é relógio.
The name of the video is going to be "This Should Make It Easy for You." There are 2 parts because I interrupted the 2, which is good because it showcases that they were criminals were overseeing through. I'm going to upload now. It's going to be "This Should Make It Easy for You" and the codes. A whimsical wizard. Now I want to actually point out a couple actually. So, that would be in relation to the real victim crimes. But as for the normal human beings, right? So, and that's the point when they fail and they fall down, things like this. Because any normal human being, particularly saying that they just passed by someone there and you can see that they're saying, for what you're saying, and again, probably it's going to be explicit. So, I propose it to you. If any normal human being would do this, or would just go anywhere like around there, and just do it there in behind in the back, or knowing that there was someone there, and knowing that this is clearly something, right? So, now what they think this means is different than what it actually means. For at face value, let's just say they find a point any criminal say a word, this video is on YouTube and it's published with this date, time, everything else, right? And you get to see it. So we'll be taking care of the real victim sense of their crimes against me when they throw some drugs in the air, which is the key element for them, for things here. But it doesn't matter because you see, apparently that's just something these people do. So anyone would presume, any reasonable person. You know what? I'm not even gonna say it here because, by the way, backup things, backup files. I was feeding the baby with this. There should be some leftovers here unless he ate everything. Well, he ate everything. He's probably very hungry. On top here, a very wholesome thing. Everyone saying would understand. Oh, there you go. And that criminal just came here. And as I was going to point it out, or you could just go behind in the bush like any human being that, normally does, but you aim on stuff that is there. Now, notice that there's another caveat, which is, I never placed many things of extreme value here. You notice how I carry everything with my back every single day. But I just want to point out an extra factor, which is, those things would be useful against the rain, like to protect against the rain. There's not much of that, but there'll be some things. I'm not touching any of this. This is evidence saying, as a matter of fact, take a screenshot in there as well. I don't even know if I want this as a screenshot. No, it's right. But as I said, or you would just walk around here, and you can be like on a place you can sit down there. Which one would you believe? At face value. Not even diving into that. Clearly that's not the case because, the criminals and kidnappers and shit. So, we settle on that one, right? So, again, it doesn't touch on their crimes against me because the crimes of the drug throw is an assault. They're throwing some type of drug to affect my body to get a type of result. In this case, something disgusting, as I mentioned before, right? You see, there's small children, be aware of this one. and commenting on them in the shopping mall just affects that if those small children see any other small children with any knowledge of this crime, likely has knowledge of all of that. So I just wanted to point that out. And again, they're thinking this is going to be in a court of law. This is YouTube. It's just going to be just essentially what this essentially culture stands for. The small children, right? And I mean small, I mean like 12-year-olds, I mean small children. Children that they entirely under control of the parents as for content that they see and everything else, right? Again, a 12-year-old can watch even porn. Perhaps I was watching porn, I think when I was 12 or 14 or whatever, on their own. A 6-year-old doesn't have access to content that the parents doesn't actually see. It doesn't matter though, because they see them interacting with the parents. But I'm just pointing that out to you. So, everything from the dehumanizations down to this. And the best part is, they are likely to still try to do real victim crimes over this. And that's a cherry. And of course, the extra adding factors or aggravators. Like for instance, we saw the interrupted the video, which means that they are aware of this. And this, oh, this is much better than that one. I would never have found this without this incident. Looking for something. Anyway, so I'm just pointing it out. Not that that was intentional, obviously. So again, feeding, cutting pieces because if you're giving a whole, he usually doesn't like. He actually ate it. I'm surprised. This, he just likes the actual chicken, which makes sense. So I was feeding him here. Overall, a very wholesome scene. This criminal passes by, and because they didn't treat it like shit, and I just continued to see them pick up their phone and point at his stupid face, saw that as an opportunity, as an opening, right? Again, mentality is a key element to understanding intention, right? As a matter of fact, you do that in criminal law every single day. You use that to estimate, because criminal law requires intent, many types of things, and you use. So you say, well, what kind of reasonable person would think defensively and be predatory, right? Again, I'm not talking about ambushes, because again, you can do that defending. We're talking about predatory behaviors you see them do. So again, not diving on that too much. And also, the main important thing is the pleasure and the other things, and not diving too much on the rest. Just pointing that. The chances of, I was there for a couple of seconds, I would say grand total perhaps 1 minute, after finishing up the backups. That criminal obviously wouldn't be the one accessing the things on the phone, they'll be the ones around. That is not unexpected. The one thing that would be the greater risk with this particular stuff is that the critical authority. That's already taken care of. Just want to put it back in place. So, man, honestly, I'm actually concerned about the rain. Losing ship is hungry. I love how my cat is actually patronizing me. When I get mad at her, she just doesn't care. She just takes this as, okay, I get it. And that's mostly because every time I get mad at her, it's because she's being mad at the little one. She knows I'm not doing that for myself. She understands. She's a mommy too. She's gonna eat as well. Everybody's gonna eat. My cat, I remember that. Last time I think. Chip, just a second. I'm feeding the other one. You have just to eat. Nobody says. Somebody is. Nobody in this place. Elsewhere, there's plenty of. Besides chips. this. No, forgot. What am I doing? What the fuck am I doing? Again, character can also be inferred into things like this. And what I have to choose, besides the responsibility. What else? Yeah, I need to talk about responsibility. I need to finish that before that hit. And I just want to point that out. So, as for this, now again, this is what we say dehumanizations and other things. And again, what is the name of all of them, right? Also, I do love that they picked, and if you have any doubts about this, just about any criminal that comes in, but they picked purple and old guy. Because again, if you sit and say, you think like this and shit, and if you think like this and shit, that's what you'd imagine. Right? Again, what do you think that the intentions were? Oh, they did throw something in the air because clearly it was far more accurate as usual, that being said. And that's fantastic evidence. That demoralizes just a good, very good chunk of it. And as I said, just a whiff of what the result of their other crimes against me would be just immediately quashed, like brutally quashed on account of this. I could even actually mention that to Gelson directly if that was the case, but for now we try not to overstep. But also, for what is worth, this is a show. This is designed by Piston Shit. I just saw by then stopping the video. Oh yeah, by the way, again, as usual, there's a screenshot there as well. There always is. And they're supposed to have been through, like a space, 13 minutes and 6 seconds prior to when this video started. There was apparently no more space, that's why I interrupted the previous one. 13 minutes before this video started. The video is still going on right now. As usual. So as I said, it just means, as I pointed out, every time that the interruption happens, every time that screen happens on the screen, is one of them. The phone, that happened when the phone had half a gigabyte free. The screen happened when the phone had from half a gigabyte to 0, and it didn't show up at all. As I said, that only shows up when there's an actual criminal, like a human being, accessing the phone to cause that to happen on the moment, period. No organization schedule, but certainly no algorithm, no anything as of the phone right now, at least. So, what do you call them? Not just the guy, I'm saying, how do you call them? Now, there is one thing that remains to be asked, which is the dumb shit watcher now will be applicable? And then you have to go down through the statutes, right? What do they actually stand for? Are they only watchers over my shit? Or are they just watchers of the shit in general? Will they go to the public bathroom and say that the rights of the waste? That's the question that remains to be asked. And if that doesn't sound too good to you, well, that's probably because it's spent the entire day trying to organize the file, which is actually being surprisingly good. Surprisingly fewer drugs than usual. There are still drugs in the air, especially psychological ones, but surprisingly fewer, again, than usual. Yeah, pretty much it. I would like to see some feedback on the rain, because I want to know if it's going to rain and stop, or if it's going to just rain. Keep that in mind. What else? Nothing. Again, as I said, when we type that, we type dehumanization as one of the main war crimes that they do. Yeah, you have other more aggravating ones, but certain of them just speak for themselves. This, with the crippled old guy showing up seconds after our showcase here, feeding the cat bit by bit, cutting pieces as you saw me do, as I was doing, except I was doing right on top of here. Essentially, that would be the vision coming from that. And because it didn't rush, again, seconds seconds are coming out of there, and then the rain's about to start. And you don't know when rain falls because it's rain, so you don't seconds, and a very small time span on the upper scale as well, because as I said, rain, it's already kind of drizzle, and you see what Mama Cat is me just feeding bit by bit to his mouth of nuggets, and that because probably didn't reach for the phone, or they thought the phone would be full, or something like that, which again is an interesting proposition right after that happened. Is what the criminals in general, many of which might be seeing right now, maybe if it cannot actually be identified, shows commit the crimes, right? So, as I said, them being the real victims. Don't forget that one. Okay. And the meeting spot, the one that would have full visibility on the hole, and also the place where that 100% criminals and the drugs usually come from. Whenever they're blowing from the back, they just come from this place. And the bunny is a place where a bunch of other places stay as well. Similar to, same logic, by the way. What else? I think, forgot something? Something I did. So, yeah. And as I said, just heading up, because a part of this is still halfway evidence. It's not actually half. There's another point that it was good that I corrected, because halfway perfectly embodies what I mean. It just means that the criminals are going to complete. It's not half. Most of it's here. It's just a little bit, and the actual little bit, we're going to see it being pushed back by the criminals. Okay. So with all this, should not over as for the video alone. Likely being in other postings on YouTube, or definitely on the files, explaining in detail that I want to see if it's going to rain supposedly and how much. Because, well, we need to charge the phone, but also most importantly, oh, check it out. Question mark on the battery. That's first time. Just random question mark on the battery. Neat. Well, so there was not much battery to begin with. It was actually 1%. Oh yeah, there was 1% in the battery. Cute, huh? Now it's just a question mark. Pretty neat. Now, again, keep that in mind. So, in the same video, you also get to see another crime of the digital crimes being just straight up done. Since this wasn't happening in the backup at all, only started here, and even when I went back there in the back to document the criminal, I would imagine it's either something from Colonel Force versus Malls, as I mentioned before, is the one closest by, or it is something from over here when I walked out, filming the entire time. Up to YouTube this goes, and then we're also gonna check on the west real quick. Oh yeah. And I don't know if we're gonna put just that. That is good because it's a new title, and at this point we have those. No, but that doesn't do too good. Up to the beginning, yes, because it was just about that. But at this point, it needs a more fulfilling title. No. Another thing you can assume by this is another thing you can assume by this is the